What the hell? I can share screen. Holy hell. I need to start doing all my streams like this. I can share screen. That's crazy. This is the most scuffed looking. Oh, didn't even put the light on. That's bright. Can you see me? Am I live on the internet right now? Am I really quiet? Am I really loud? Cool. Well, this is the stream. How is everybody? Yeah. That song fits how I'm feeling right now. And the other Big Tired. Yeah. Same. Very tired. This was very well, it actually wasn't spur of the moment. I was thinking of streaming today for the last couple days. And then today happened. And I wasn't going to stream anymore. And then in the last hour, I was told, no, you shouldn't let it stop you. You should stream. And then OBS decided I shouldn't stream. And so did Streamlabs. Both of the streaming platforms I had decided no. That's why I'm streaming directly through YouTube on the webcam. No streaming software is being used. And that's why it's more scuffed than even my normal. It's even more scuffed than usual. I mean, I don't know. I have nothing planned. I just wanted to talk, and if other people wanted to talk and have questions or say how things have been going the last 8 months, because I haven't been doing this for 8 months. Yeah. This is nothing's gonna stop me. Well, something happened today that certainly was looking like it. But how's everybody been? This is gonna be a short stream, really scuffed stream. I don't even think I can play music or anything because I'm not capturing desktop audio, I don't believe. I'm just capturing my mic and my webcam. That's it. So, how's school? I've graduated. I'm done with school. I graduated in August. I officially have my master's. And it's one of the good things going for me in a sea of bad things. So there's that. That's something that's one thing I have going for me, I guess. Feels good, right? It did. I mean, it does feel good. It feels good. Yo, what's up, Cereza? I'm sorry if I'm weird today and off. Bad day, but I'm glad to see everybody. Means a lot. It's all good. Yeah. But yeah, it feels good. Graduating, it was special. I have a, it's a really good piece. It's a really nice piece of paper. I'd show it to you, but then I would just dox my whole name, and I don't want to do that. So. But yeah, it was a really hard fought piece of paper that I earned, and I'm now $100,000 in debt for. Uh, and so since then, a lot has happened. I mean, a lot has happened with me um, since I stopped streaming last. I think the last stream was in uh, June, right? So it is Diet Coke. So it's been 8 months, right? 8 months since I streamed last. And in that time, a lot's changed. Some things haven't. This background is the same. I'm pretty much still looking the same. You were apparently my most watched gaming streamer last year. That's impressive because I didn't even stream that much last year. I'm mostly a 2023 streamer. That's the peak, the heyday of Nathan's stream is where 2013 or 2023, not even 2024. So I started the Pokemon Fire Red randomizer because of you. That's good. Maybe we'll eventually finish that. I haven't touched it. That was just a stream thing, so haven't progressed. I don't even really remember what the team was. Actually, I did see it on OBS because I can get into OBS. I can do that, and I scheduled a stream through. I remember naming Gekkoon. Yeah, I don't even remember who Gekkoon was. Like what Pokemon, but so yeah, I did that. Got a job in my career. It's not going great. It's floundering a little bit, but you know, you gotta work with what you got, I guess. Not really trying to talk about that though. Um, and I had some cool stories. I went on a cruise by myself, which was cool. Actually, I went, it's a funny story. I went on two separate cruises last year in a month and a half because we went on a family vacation, family cruise. Um, that was just, well, no, not it was just my whole family went, or a lot of my family. There were, I think, like 15 to 20 of us that went on a Royal Caribbean cruise. Um, so that one went to, it was Royal Caribbean, so it went to um, their private island, uh, which is Coco Cay, and then we went to, I think it was just Coco Cay, and then uh, Cozumel, Mexico, were the two spots. Um, I believe so. It was just a 5 night cruise. Um, the buffet food wasn't great. I mean, it's not like incredible, but I didn't really care because it's like a buffet. I'm happy with just getting included food, you know. Just give me food and as much food as I want, and I'll be happy pretty much. It's not like it was terrible or anything. There was a lot of stuff I liked, like escargot. Give me some escargot and I'll eat it. You know, give me some nice stuff, even if it's not like the best, like 5-star quality or anything. I'll still take it. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. That's French for snail goo. Well, I think it's snails. Yeah, there's a little bit of goo, but it's snails. But it's good though. a cruise, but only food is boiled potatoes. Ah, the cruise to Ireland. Love it. But anyway, so I went on that one. Okay. Uh, Escar snail. Oh, okay. I guess it is. I guess it literally is for snail goo. I don't know French. But so I went on that one. That was very fun. Let's see. Do I have any fun pictures that don't dox me or my family? That'd be cool. I can't I don't can't show my screen, I don't think. So I'm literally just going to have to show stuff from my camera. I don't know if there's any pictures of just me that also don't have me. I know there's one picture of just me, but it's me in a shirt that has my school on it. And I don't want to dox that either. So, oh, look at this one. Okay, here we go. Look at this man right here. Look at that. You can't really see it, but oh, 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 oh yeah, oh yeah. Maxing and relaxing there. We got one of these cool. They're like cabanas on the water. Clean my phone screen. Yeah. Okay. Cool, Catherine. Might be my webcam, to be honest. But yeah, so we had these cabanas we rented for the day. That was it. Coco K. Way overpriced, like super way too expensive, but they were cool. They had like, let's see, do I have any pictures of them without? Here's like a far away one. You probably won't be able to see it because of how far away it is. This is mega scuff stream, by the way. This is just but so yeah, you can see though they're on the water there, you know. And yeah, I do know my phone screen is dirty. But oh, here's one too. Here's a closer up. Here's a view from one. So they all had like a slide into the water, and they all had like hammocks and stuff and loungers, and you got food with them. Way overpriced, too expensive. I wouldn't have been able to. I mean, I'm broke, but my family wouldn't have been able to if it wasn't for some people. But they don't got good internet out there. No, I didn't have internet. Period. On the cruise, I didn't have internet for the entirety. Um, so, oh, I have some good stories from that cruise, but they involve family members, so I'd probably have to ask them if they're okay with me sharing them because they're kind of embarrassing. So maybe next story stream. Sorry, I'm looking down. I'm looking at my phone. But yeah, there's one story from that stream from that cruise that's just really funny to me, and it was like an ongoing story throughout the cruise. Your dad fell off the back. No, no, he didn't. I think he would have died if that happened. I think people underestimate how big cruise ships are. They are nowadays like gigantic. I think I have a picture. Like cruise ships nowadays, they have like malls inside them. Like they have hollowed out interiors with a mall inside. Like here's a shot, okay? This is inside, and this is basically a mall with restaurants and stuff, and it goes like at least a football field length down, and that's just on the inside, not even including the cabins and everything on top. They're gigantic. And so that cruise, the family one, was actually the smaller one because I went on that. And so we went on that at the beginning of August. And actually we went on it I think we left for it the day after I graduated. Um or like I finished my classes. I don't I technically graduated, like the name or the date on my diploma or degree is after we got back actually. But um when my best friend graduated his undergrad with his bachelor's, his dad paid for a trip for him and me and him and his friends, so me and a couple of other friends, uh, to go on a trip. So we went down to Lake House for a week, I think, full week. Um, and he just paid for that. He paid for the gas money and the food and everything. So my sister was like, "All right, you got your master's. I like that idea, and it'll get you out and going out and doing stuff." Because she's like, "You're a shut in. You should be going and exploring and doing things." And I was just like, "Well, I like that cruise. That was really cool, wasn't it?" And so I was like, "What about another cruise?" And I just go on that. And she was like, "Okay, well, um, do you want to go with people? When?" Um, and at that point, it was like after I graduated, so I was looking for jobs. I was like going on interviews and stuff. And I, I was like, well, I could either wait and do it with my friends, but it would be kind of hard because my best friend is getting married soon. He's getting married in May, so he's super busy. Um, and then my other friend has something he's dealing with, a medical issue. Um, so I was like, I don't think the friends thing. It would be a while out. It'd be a way out. Um, and I'm not a very independent person. It's something. It's like one of my biggest weaknesses. Um, I'm not as independent as I should be or want to be. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. Right now, I don't have a job, and I, you know, could do that. I could just go on a cruise alone. So that's what we did. So in September, actually, right before I went, I got a job. Um, I went on 4 interviews and I got all of them. Um, you know, not to brag or anything, not to brag or anything, but like, you know, I got accepted every interview. Just sorry, I had to throw that in there. But so and then I went on this cruise. This one was fucking massive. I think it's the third. When it was built, it was the biggest or second biggest in the world, and now it's the third biggest in the world as of 2025. Um, it was gigantic, and it was also the first time I've ever been that far away from home alone. Like I said, I'm not a very independent person, so yeah, being in Florida first of all alone was something I've never done before. And then to go out of the country alone on a cruise ship was something that even when I was on the cruise and talking to people and they asked like, "Oh, who are you here with?" And I'm like, "I'm alone." They were like, "Wait, what?" So even people there were like, "Wow, that's crazy." Um, but yeah, and it was also a chance for me because I'm I said I'm not that independent and I'm not that social. I'm not good in social situations. Um, I have a very small and I have a very small but tight knit group of friends that I've had for a very long time. Um, and so I have like my three friends that I have had since like grade school. And since then, I'd probably only say I've added like one other friend. And I've never met them in person. So it's, like I said, it's very. So I was like, okay, I'm going to use this as a chance not only to be more independent and go on this trip all by myself and do this, but to get out of my comfort zone. Because I was on the cruise with my family, and when I was there, I had an amazing time. It was great, but I only talked to my family, which is fine. You know, it's a vacation. You go with your family and you hang out with your family the whole time. But I'm like, I think this would be a good chance to talk to people, you know, at a cool environment because my favorite things about the cruise, the first one, actually, my favorite nights weren't with my family. So the last couple nights, you know, people kind of pulled an early night and I was like, well, I want to do stuff. And so I saw on the itinerary there's a nightclub on the cruise at night. So I was like, okay, nightclub. How pumping could this be? It's on a cruise ship. And it's at like the top of the ship in this like bar and club area. And it was awesome. I loved it so much. The last two nights, I was just up there. It was amazing. I felt like free. I felt like I was, you know, I was dancing with people and I was like making friends with people I didn't even talk to. I was making friends with people I didn't even speak the same language as them because there were a lot of people there from Puerto Rico. I knew there was a guy from the Dominican Republic, Mexico, and then some people who were probably just from like Florida and stuff, but they spoke Spanish. Um, and so like all over the place, and they were playing like a lot of reggaeton and stuff in the club, and I was dancing to it, and I knew some of them because I like Bad Bunny and stuff. Um, and so it was just so fun to dance with people and be up there. It was so cool that like the final morning, like as everybody's getting off, like you disembark in the morning, but they have like the breakfast buffet open. So I'm like, I'm just at the breakfast buffet at my table eating, and I see a guy who I noticed from the club, and I think he just speaks Spanish. And I forget where he was from. Hold on. I bet if I pull up Google Maps and I'm just looking at the countries, I'll remember what country he was from. He was from. Was he from Colombia? I think he was from Colombia. Yeah, that sounds right. And I just saw him and I went up to him and I said, Hola, hola, amigo. And I, you know, dapped him up. And I felt so cool. And he remembered me just from, we never talked. We literally never said a word to each other before that. But he just remembered me from dancing, him and his girlfriend. Um, and it was just so awesome. I loved it. So I was like, I want to do that again, but I'm not just gonna do it the last night, the last two nights. Also, one of the story that I want to tell is related to that, like not that person, but the club. Um, I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna text them right now and see if they let me. Um, uh, Use your name. He rarely answers my texts, so we'll see if he actually gets back to me before I'm done here. But I'd really like to tell that story because it's so funny. But anyway, so wait, he's already responding. Oh, he said I would be honored. Okay. So I am on. I'll tell him I'm streaming right now in case he wants to hop in. Um, anyway, so one night, so this is my cousin I'm talking about, right? He is 22 and he does not drink a lot, okay? So he went on this cruise with us, our family, and some of my family does drink. Like when they're drinking, they go all out, right? And so it was kind of like an experience for him, like being there, and he was going to try some stuff out. There's also casinos on board, and he really wanted to learn how to play craps too. So he was like, okay, these are my missions, right? So one night, the first couple nights happen, we don't drink. I don't drink at all. He maybe has like a beer or something. And then the third night, I don't even remember. He starts hanging out with my sister and her boyfriend, and they're some of the like they go all out. They had bottles of stuff in their room, um, and so he's hanging out with them like before dinner, and at dinner our table is me, him, my sister and boyfriend, and my other sister and her boyfriend. So he's sitting next to me, and they're there, and already before dinner he comes in. He comes into the dining room at dinner time, and he is already um, a little buzzed. You can tell. Uh, and my sister's boyfriend, I love every night. I don't even know where he got. I think he just brought the koozie with him every night at dinner. I don't know if you guys have been on cruise ships. The formal like dining room, you're supposed to wear like not like suits, but like button ups, khakis, like business casual kind of stuff. And except on formal night. On formal night, you're supposed to wear like suit and dress and everything. Every night though, he would come in with a Bud Light in a koozie and just like he'd walk into the dining room with that and put it on the table. And I don't know, there was something about that. I love that every time. But anyway, so he's already drinking. And that night there was a show. And this show is amazing. This is I forget what it was called. I watched it twice. It's called something crazy. It's called Crazy Quest. Crazy Quest. So Crazy Quest, if you go on a Royal Caribbean cruise, go to Crazy Quest. It is like the best thing on there, okay? The first one was better than the second one because the host was better, but the concept is just really fun anyway. So after dinner, we all go back to my sister's room where she's got the alcohol. So we are at Crazy Quest. He's drinking. I have some wine there. They have a wine bottle. I think they had wine and like Jameson. He was drinking Jameson. That's what got him fucked up. Like just straight, they just had bottles of straight alcohol. They had no mixers. But then there's Crazy Quest. So we go in line. We get in line to Crazy Quest. I have had a little bit to drink. He is already smashed. Okay. And then we're in line, and this is where the story really starts. So just that was just setting the stage. He's drunk. We're in line at Crazy Quest. He drunkenly bumps into this group of girls in front of us. There's probably like 5 of them. They're all in like their mid to early 20s, right? And so he just bumps into him. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys." And so nothing happens for like 3 seconds. And then one of the girls, they all looked back immediately, like when he bumped into them. But then, like 5 seconds later, one of them just turns around and goes to him and is like, "Hi, my name's Mallory. What's your name?" And my sister's boyfriend and me, oh yeah, I need to say this beforehand. We were talking about this at dinner, that he's pretty good looking, right? My cousin. And so we're surprised nobody's been like hitting on you. Like we're surprised no girls have been hitting on you. And he's like, I don't know, it's nothing's going on. And my sister's boyfriend is like, I bet people have, and you've just been oblivious. And so then that happened. She turns around and is like, "Hi, I'm Mallory. What's your name?" And we're like, and he says his name, which I'm not gonna dox. And then they're next, so they go in. And they're like, "Okay, nice to meet you. Maybe talk later." And they go into the show, and me and my sister and my sister's boyfriend were like, "Bro, there it was. That was it." So we knew her name at that point, and then we went in the show. The show was great. That was who we went in with, but our whole family was there, and I will now describe the show. The show is like a team scavenger hunt. Okay, it takes place in this venue it's like the ice skating rink, but like for this show it was covered over. So, but it's like stadium seating. It's like a small stadium seated arena, and so they divide the crowd into like, I think it was like 8 sections, just based on where you're sitting. And what they do is there's the host of the show, and then each team has 2 team captains. And the host will say, "I need," and he'll just say something, and the team captains have to get that from their people in their crowd or just somewhere, right? Started off simple. First one was like, "I need," and everybody, when you get on the cruise, you have a card. Like, it gets you into your room, and if you have like a drink package, it tells you that and everything. And it was like, "I need a ship ID that starts with the letter blah blah blah." So that's like a simple one, and then it just escalates to crazier and crazier stuff. Like, one of them was, "I need a woman from your section wearing another guy's pants." So when it got to that one, my cousin is trashed. He's sitting right next to me. He attempts to take his pants off. Okay. Just not very successfully. Meanwhile, we did it. He's still trying to do it. He's like 20 seconds behind everybody else. So he's like still there after this challenge is over, because it was like a race. First team gets like 8 points, second team 7 points, third team 6 points. Thankfully, that didn't happen. Thankfully, his boxers stayed on, but it just took him like a full minute to do it, even though we were already done. And then he's just sitting there with his pants off, and he's like struggling trying to get them back on, like the whole rest of the show. It was so funny. but the show is like really good. It was like the one show that they were like, this is an 18 plus show. Do not bring kids to this. Don't do it. Which is correct. Don't do that. And they were also were stressing, do not film anything that happens in this show. And they explained because they're like, if this were to be filmed and clips of this were to go on the internet, no one would ever do this again. Right? So like, just don't ruin it for people, which is true. Some of the other ones that were funny were 3 women's bras tied together in like a rope. So you had to get them off, throw them down, and then the 2 team captains had to like tie them up together, and then you had to like show it to the host. So that was a funny one. There was another one. There was something fake, like a body part that was fake. So a lot of women just ran down to the crowd because if there was something like you would be running down. They said don't run, but everybody's running, of course. And showing stuff. And my mom, though, she has a fake tooth, and this was so disgusting. So she has a fake tooth, and no, they did not take their top off. At least not all of them. Some did. Some people flashed the host. But my mom has a fake tooth, and she just, without even thinking, because they say it, and everybody in this crowd is in like a mad dash, like to think of something or do something to help their team. So my mom immediately takes the fake tooth out and like throws it, and it just like lands in between these 2 seats, a couple rows in front of her. And it was just like, oh my God. No. Like, that's just the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. So that one was really fun. That one isn't even like 18 plus. It's just crazy and disgusting. There's also like my sister. There was another one where people flashed. Yeah, she got it back, thankfully. Like the people that were sitting there immediately were like, here, have this back. And she, just held it until the end and then like cleaned it. Her tooth may be fake, but your mom a real one. Yeah, she is. And then there was another one where people flashed a lot was it was another one where it was like ladies specifically, or no, I don't think this one was just ladies. It was, you need to show a piercing that you wouldn't normally see, like ears or lips or something. So something that would be covered up by clothes, a piercing, and you gotta go down and show it to them. And my sister gets up and starts going down, and my mom is like, she doesn't know what she's doing. It was just a belly button ring, which we all know she has, but she at first was like, no, don't. But yeah, that's one that a lot of people flashed. That one. So, oh man, there were some other ones. Like a lot of the every team captain was like a boy and a girl. Like the 2 captains were one boy, one girl. One of them was like the guy captains on each team had to because there was like a guy host and then like a girl host. The girl host did that one, and she made all the team captains like bark like dogs and like roll over and beg to be like the best scoring person. That one was crazy. There was just a lot of that stuff. That's not even part of the story, really, but I had to explain it because it was so fun. It was a great time. And even though I do understand that it shouldn't be filmed, I just wish it was filmed to see some of the stuff that happened in that. Oh, and then the last two challenges. The second to last one was fucking crazy. And definitely one where it was like, do not film this, was kind of like a similar one with the pants, but you had to have a guy from your team and a woman from your team completely swap clothes. Like the guy had to be wearing all of the woman's clothes and the woman had to be wearing all of the guy's clothes. And they're just like, figure it out however you want to do it. So we were in the corner, and in the corner there was like this little section that had like a drape over it. So, I didn't mention that my sister's boyfriend was our team captain too. So we get a guy and a girl come down, and he just shoves them into this little corner puts the drape over and says, "Get naked," and then shuts it. Get naked and don't come out until you have each other's clothes on. So, and then they did, and it was just crazy. There were some people on our team that were just like the MVPs because they were doing insane stuff. Like there was that girl who did that one. She also came down for there was one where it was like a girl from your team needed to go down and do a split. And there was some other stuff. That's why you needed that clap. No, it wasn't originally for this Mac. I decided to stream like an hour ago. I'm just telling cruise stories right now. But it fits though. It fits the theme of today. So, but yeah, so that woman there were some MVPs. And then the final one was basically just like drag queen challenge, basically, where we had to pick a guy. You had to pick a guy from every team had to pick a guy. And then with anything they could from anybody on their team had to dress him up like a woman as convincingly as possible. So we gave this dude broad dress, high heels, necklaces. A fucking lady took off her weave, like ripped out a weave to give this guy. And those are not hard to get in, but she was committed. Okay. And so, yeah, I think somebody put lipstick on him. And then they had to come up with like backstories and names and jobs. I don't remember all of them. I remember some of them. The jobs were like OnlyFans model, sexy librarian, specifically a sexy librarian. But the best one was just like, guy goes, "My name's Brittany and I serve." And that's it. I serve. And that one, everybody in the crowd clapped at that one. That was great. So that was fun. But yeah, I'm a professional turkey jerker from Jackson Hole. But that's, like I said, that's not even really part of this story. We now conclude that intermission to go back to the story. Okay. So the show ended, and I'm back to my crew of me, my cousin, my sister, and her boyfriend. It's the four of us. And we get out of the show, and we're like we need to find Mallory. We need to find Mallory for my cousin, right? Let's call him. Should we give him a code name that I can just, because I don't know, just calling him my cousin is kind of, uh, I feel like I'm gonna slip up and just say his name. But if I give him a code name, like a fake name, then maybe I wouldn't. Jarence. All right, we'll call him Jarence. So my cousin Jarence, we get out of the show and we're like, she was in here somewhere. We need to find her. He's saying this. We need to find Mallory. He is hammered at this point, like not walking straight, but he's like, we need to find Mallory. And he's saying a lot of not safe for work things about Mallory. He's saying, to be fair, Mallory was cute. She was cute. Okay. She and he said, she's the love of my life. We're gonna get married. He said, this is why I asked him if he was okay with it. He was saying, "Oh my god, I didn't bring condoms on this cruise. I'm gonna accidentally get her pregnant, and we're gonna have a baby." And so he's just saying all this like in the middle of this cruise, like in the fucking lobby of the show area. Like he's he's going crazy. And then we go to the bar in the casino, and he's still talking. We meet up with some other family that was in the casino playing slots, and he's just still talking about it. Like, we need to find Mallory. Where's Mallory at? At this point, we don't even really remember what Mallory looked like because we were all kind of drinking, and he does not remember what Mallory looks like. All I remembered was she was blonde. That's about it. That's all I remembered. Like, vaguely, like off the top of my head. It was one of those things where it's like, if I saw her, I might remember. But we keep looking around. We're like, where would Mallory be? I don't even remember what we did after that, to be honest. I don't remember if we went to the club that night or where we went. Oh, I remember. We went to the casino. The bartender in the casino, we had cut him off. I forget what his name. I think his name was like Ali or something. And we're like, stop, don't serve him anymore. Don't serve him anything else. And my cousin Jarence, he's like, thank you, man. Ali, you're the fucking best, bro. Thank you. You're amazing. I love you, bro. And also just like, oh man, who's calling me? What is this about? I got a call. I think whoever called me should just text me. But yeah, he's doing that. Also, whenever we walk past people, he's just like complimenting every woman we walk past. Like, he's fiending basically right at that night. We walk past this like 65-year-old woman, and he just goes like, "Oh my god, you're so beautiful," and I mean that. And then we walk back, so we keep walking, and then we walk back past her again, and he said, I mean what I meant earlier. And then after that, I think we got pizza, and then after that, we were like, we're gonna lay you down to sleep. So we take him back to his cabin, and we put him in his bed, and we lock the door. We're like, no more don't come out. And then, the rest of us who were not as drunk, we just kind of hung out for a little longer. And so that's phase one. That was phase one of the story. Okay. So then the next morning, I get up and I meet him at the breakfast buffet. And I was like, last night was crazy, huh? And he was like, yeah, I don't remember most of it. And I said, do you at least remember Mallory? And he was like, I think I vaguely remember hearing the name Mallory, and that's all he knew. He did not remember anything that happened after that, or really, he didn't remember what she looked like, the instance of how they ran into each other, the fact that he was talking about her the rest of the night, and the things he said. So I'm telling him this at breakfast the next morning, and he is so embarrassed. He's literally sitting at the table like, oh my God, I can't believe I said all that. I can't believe I did all that. And but me, my sister and her boyfriend were like, well, now we still need to find Mallory. We need to unite the two of them, even though at this point Jarence does not want this because he's so embarrassed. He's like, I don't want that. I don't want to run into her. I don't want to see her because that'll just be embarrassing. But we're looking. The other three of us, we are looking. We're on the. We are on the chase. But the days go by, right? So that was the third day. It was a 5-day cruise. The fourth day comes and goes. And that night, I'm at the club dancing, like I said, fourth night, really good, dancing at the club. Tons of people there, right, at the club, dancing with them. And then fifth night comes, and nothing happens. We don't find her. I mean, we have fun, just in terms of the story, nothing happens. And I'm going to go to the club again because it was so fun the fourth night. But I'm like, I doubt people are going to be there because it starts at 11:30, the club at night. And everybody had to be up and off the boat at 9 a.m. the next morning. And I think my departure time was like 8. Like I had to be off the boat at 8. So I'm like, I don't think anybody's going to be up there. Lo and behold, I go up there and it is packed and everybody is dancing and going crazy. Like they're just maximizing the time they're on vacation, right? Like they're like, I don't care if I got to get up early tomorrow. I'm still on the cruise. I'm having a good time, right? And so I'm dancing, and I'm dancing with this girl, and I'm just like, there's something familiar about this girl. I can't put my finger on it, but I'm just thinking about it. And so she goes back to like her table after dancing a little bit to get a drink. And I'm just thinking, and I'm like, wait. I'm like, there's no way, right? There's no fucking way. But I work up the courage to go over and ask her. I'm like, hey, this is a really dumb question. Is your name by any chance Mallory? And she goes, yeah. How do you know? How do you know my name? And I'm like, it's a crazy story. And I'm like, do you remember Crazy Quest 2 nights ago? In line, somebody bumped into you and you asked for his name and you said, my name is Mallory. And you exchanged names and said you want to talk. And she said no, because she was really drunk that night. So she was just as drunk as he was on that night at Crazy Quest. She does not remember doing that. But I'm like, well, that's insane. Now it's even more insane. So I text my cousin because that you didn't get service on the cruise. You didn't get internet, but they have their own like app and you can message people on it that are also on the cruise. So I tell him, I'm like, bro, you are not going to believe this. You have to get up here now. And he does, but also I took a picture with Mallory to send to him and to send to everybody. And I was like, first of all, I make the weirdest face ever. I do like the Rock eyebrow raise, but like really crap. I don't think I even want to show it. Just know I have the Mallory picture. Okay. Um, and I'm sweaty as fuck because I was dancing for like an hour and a half. Um, so it's not a good picture, but it's so crazy that like on the last night, the last possible moment, the final hour, I just run into her and I'm just like dancing with her and I'm like, I think I recognize her, but from where? And it turned out to be Mallory. So that is an amazing story. I love that story so much. And thank you to my cousin for letting me share that story. This is like a Disney Channel original movie. Yeah, except the drunk parts where he says a bunch of bad stuff. Yeah. And then they did meet, and it was awkward because they didn't really know each other because they were both drunk. So they were just like, "Hi, I'm Mallory. Hi, I'm what name did we give him? Jarence." So that really didn't do much, but Mallory, great story, and that'll be a treasure, even though it's a crappy photo, and I look terrible in it. It's a photo I will hold dear for a long time because of the story behind it. And then, so we have that. And then on to the next cruise, right? So that cruise happens, and I'm like, that was so fun. I want to do that again. So I picked this cruise. It's in late September, like the third week of September, and it's on the Wonder of the Seas. So that one, the first one, it was on Liberty of the Seas. If you want to look these ships up, because cruise ships are really cool, guys. First one was on Liberty of the Seas. This next one I'm going to talk about is on Wonder of the Seas. Okay. So I get the flight. It's a 7-day cruise this time instead of 5. It's all by myself. Because of that, I got the internet package. I didn't get a drink package, or I got the pop package, the soda package, but it's pop. And so he gonna be the old lady slayer on this ship? Ooh, maybe. Is this foreshadowing? But yeah, so like I said, it was the first time I'd ever been that far away from home alone. It was also the first time I'd been out of the country alone. Titanic of the seas. Yeah, I actually died. That's where I've been. I've been this whole time just dead on a cruise ship accident you guys haven't heard of on the news. And I'm actually a ghost. That's why the stream is so scuffed. But I get the flight down to Orlando. I have definitely flown alone before. And then I almost immediately lose my luggage because I don't know. So I get to the Orlando airport, and then I have a shuttle from there to the port, and the shuttle was like 45 minutes, and I landed in Orlando at like 9 or something, I think, and I'm only supposed to board the ship at like 2, and the shuttle runs from like 11 to the Port Canaveral. Yeah. So, but the shuttle I was using, I forget what it was called. I have the tag. I don't care. But it ran from like 11 to 2 or something. So I was like, okay, I just got to wait around the airport for a while. And because I was only supposed to board at like 2, I didn't want to take it too early and then just sit in the hot Florida heat at the port before I could actually board. So I'm just waiting around. I get I just have a backpack with me because I have all my luggage. I have my suitcase and my backpack. And I get a Panda Express for lunch. And I just, sit down, put the backpack on the back of my chair, eat, chill out, getting ready. And so I, still got like an hour or two to wait. So I just get up and go find somewhere more comfortable to sit. And then after like 20, 30 minutes, I want to get my phone charger out. And I'm like, where's my backpack at? And then I realize, oh shit, I left it on the back of my chair when I was eating Panda Express. And I walked like, I was bored. I walked like across the airport. So I am sprinting, running through the Orlando airport back to the food court to get my backpack before someone just steals it. Thankfully, I got there and it was still there. But I was like, this is not a good omen that I immediately just almost lost my backpack. So yeah. After that, getting on was pretty good. Took the shuttle. When I got to the port, they were just like, screw your time. Just if you're there, just get on. Go through the boarding. Yeah, I think thankfully it wasn't enough time where they were like, it could have still just been somebody leaving it there like a placeholder for something, you know? But yeah, so I got there, huge line to like get in. I don't know if I do have a lot of pictures of the second cruise because I was there alone. So none of the pictures have my family in them, obviously. So, let's see. Boy, I have I just hate how I look. Any picture with me in it, I'm like, this looks like shit because I look like shit. Anyway, here's me outside the ship, getting on the ship on my dirty ass phone. It's not a good shot, really. Here's a very far. Actually, that's not even. What the hell? What are these pictures I took? I took some terrible pictures. But I got on safe and sound. It is a little interesting if you've never gotten on a cruise nowadays. Your luggage, when you're at the port, you give it to a porter. So I got off my shuttle. You give it to a porter, and you got to tip the porter. And their job is like to get your bags on the ship so you don't have to carry them on. So, I'm just bringing my backpack on. I give the porter my suitcase, and then they're like, okay, this will be at your room, like outside your room by this time, like 5 o'clock or something. So you don't have your suitcase at the beginning. You also can't get into your room for the first hour or so. So you're kind of just exploring, walking around, which is fun. I was glad because this ship is the wonder of the seas is fucking crazy. It's crazy, huge, all kind of things to do. I didn't even do everything in the week. Like there was stuff like I didn't go there's a zip line on the cruise. I didn't go on that because I wanted to find somebody who would film me going on it. But spoiler alert, the people I met and hung out with, we mostly hung out at night. So during the day, I was left to my own devices, and then we'd meet up at night. So I never really had a chance to do that. Um, so yeah, got on, explored. I have a lot of pictures of the ship. Let's see here. So this, I'll once I whenever my fucking uh, streaming software works, I'll show you actual pictures, like not just from my phone. You can't really tell, but this is like the main thoroughfare inside the ship. It's really, I probably have a better picture somewhere, but yeah, there's so much stuff. Uh, yeah, I might just wait until then. There's a ton of shit. Like, um, but it was just really cool being there alone too. Like I said, I at that point we hadn't left the port, so I did have just my internet. I'm, obviously calling my parents and my sister and my family and being like, I'm on, I'm safe, blah blah blah. My mom, before I got on the ship, she was like, I'm gonna lay down some rules for you, okay? Do not go into anybody's room. Do not go into anybody else's room. Do not let anybody in your room. Okay? Don't do that. So I'm like, okay. She's like, you could get kidnapped or something. I'm like, okay, I'm 25, but whatever. I think they were the X-ray machines, if I remember correctly. She wants me to stay single. I know for a fact she does not want me to stay single. But like I just don't think she wanted me to get like roofied on a cruise ship and have all my shit stolen, which is a very real thing that could have happened. You let someone into your room, they could just knock you out and take all your shit. Uh, Not like I had anybody. The other rule was don't get drunk, like drunk, because again, I'm there all alone. I don't have anybody there who can like help me, you know. Um, so yeah, those were the rules. I broke all of those rules. But we, what am I saying? First day there was a Sunday. Nathan got taken 3 like Liam Neeson. Um, but so yeah, the first day was Sunday. Football season because it was in September, and they have a sports bar on the ship. And bro, that Sunday, the first day, they had every game. Even after we sailed away from the port and were in the ocean, they still had like every game going on, every football game. It was amazing. And I got on the first day with a Steelers shirt on because obviously, and I saw so many different football jerseys that first day: Lions, Ravens, Eagles, Falcons, Panthers, Saints, like everything. Just everybody was wearing their jerseys because it was a football day, and a bunch of people at the sports bar, watching the game, all of the games. And then I remember it was week 2, so it was Steelers versus Broncos, Chiefs versus Bengals. I joined a conglomeration of Steeler fans that were there. I saw probably like 8 Steeler fans, kind of hung out and talked with them for a little bit. That was before I was fully out of my shell, I guess you could say. So I was a little more shy and nervous, but just talking to some Steeler fans. And then, yeah, that was the first day, really, just kind of doing that, exploring the ship, relaxing. There was some cool stuff on the ship. There was a bar that I didn't use this because I think it was more expensive than other bars, but it had robot bartenders. Eight Steeler fans, you were the only one from Pittsburgh though. There was there was one other group that they were from Pittsburgh. Or I don't know if they were from Pittsburgh, but one of them went to Carnegie Mellon. So in Pittsburgh. They were in Pittsburgh. Um so um yeah, that first day. But oh yeah, there was a bar with the robots, and it was like those robot arms you see that do like that are in like factories like that put stuff together. And then on the roof of the bar they had every like liquor and mixer, so you would on like a tablet they have, you'd like put what you want in it, and then these robot arms would like fill it up with the liquor and alcohol, liquor and mixers, and then like shake it, and then they'd serve it to you. Obviously it was an upcharge from the regular bars because it's like a novelty thing, but it was cool to just like watch it work. It was kind of crazy. No, it was not a cool. I don't. When I the only picture I have of it is like in the dark when it was like offline, because there were like down times for it, which kind of sucked. The downsides of robots taking our jobs. I don't know if you could see it because of the light being crap, but yeah, there it is. So you can see like all of the bottles above it, and then there's like two robot arms. So that was cool. I stuck to the regular bars, thank you. And that gets me into the next thing. So then day 2 went to Coco Cay at the island. Uh, I didn't have a crazy cabana on the water this time because I was trying to spend as little money as possible. So I just went to this big pool that had a swim up bar. I didn't get anything from the swim up bar either because, again, I'm trying to spend as little money as possible. But it was a huge pool. I saw some people from the Steeler game the other day, talked to them for a little bit. I'll take the blonde Puerto Rican chick over the robot arms. So true. So true. Um, but yeah, that day I felt that was the day where I was like, I really need to do. I need to try something different. Okay, because I was there in this pool and I could just feel my social awkwardness. Okay, I talked to some people, but I'm just swimming around this pool alone, and I'm seeing all these groups of people because it's a huge pool. There's probably like this pool fit. It's like a lagoon basically, not even a pool. Um, and I'm just like, I should talk to these people. No, you can't talk to these people. You should talk to these people. No, you can't. Like, I could just feel my social awkwardness holding me back. Um, so I don't remember if it was that night or the third night where, and I was just chilling out. Other than that, going to see some shows, listening to music. There was some really good live music. I'd never really listened to jazz, but I went to this. There was this jazz band that was playing one night, and that was really cool. They had some comedy shows, some comedians that were there. I went and saw them the first couple nights, and so, but at one point I was like, okay, I need to switch things up. I need to try something different. And the way I did that was through the almighty bottle. So I texted my family and I was just like, hey, I need to come out of my shell more. Recommend me some drinks to try because I don't really drink. Despite what my birthday stream might tell you, I don't really drink at all. And the only drink I'd ever had before that cruise that I tolerated was like vodka cranberry. So I text them, and my one sister, the sister from the previous cruise story, she used to be a bartender too, and she says, "Ooh, I like Manhattans." I got a Manhattan. That was the first thing I tried from what everybody recommended me, and like my first drink of the cruise, and it was like the most disgusting thing. It was like, besides, okay, Fireball. I hate Fireball, and um I hate Jägermeister, like Jaeger bombs. So it was up there with those three. And I think at that point I was like, brown liquor, this is not my thing. I just don't like it. It just tastes really bad. Manhattan, I think it's whiskey. What is in a Manhattan? The best part of it was it had cherries in it, though. And I was scared because it had a cherry at the top and it had a cherry at the bottom. And I was really afraid that the cherry at the bottom would be so soaked with the disgusting drink that it would taste like it. Thankfully, it was not. So the cherries were still good. Uh, Manhattans are made with whiskey, sweet vermouth, and bitters. Disgusting. I should not have tried it. I should have looked at what it is and just immediately been like, yeah, that sounds like trash. That sounds really bad. Um, uh, but I was like, sweet vermouth. I was like, it's sweet. It has sweet in the name. It's got to be good, right? It's like sweet vermouth. No, it's just the most bitter, like disgusting thing ever. Anyway, so then my other sister's boyfriend recommended me try a White Russian because I like vodka. You know from my birthday stream a couple years ago that vodka is like the only alcohol I don't actively hate. So I tried a White Russian and I really liked it. And so I was like, yes, number two, I have two drinks that I can try. Um, so yeah, White Russians, I got those for like a night. That was like the first night I got them. I was like, this is um it just tasted really good. I don't know. It was just like, this is actually good. And I did not expect it because it's a fucking alcohol and dairy. Like like TNT says, dairy and alcohol is a dangerous mix. The big Nate Bowski with the White Russians. Yeah. So I now am armed with White Russians. Okay. Um, Hold on. I need to make a timeline. I don't have this in time order, but I made a list. I was so proud at that point that I was talking to people that I made a list of people I talked to and made friends with. Okay. Let's see. These happened. Jake. Where was Jake at? Who is Jake? Was a guy at a bar. Okay, so here's the people. Troy and wife, they were Steeler fans who I talked to both in the sports bar and at the pool the next day. Brandon and family, they were from Colorado. I talked to them in the pool. Jake was a guy at the bar who just randomly was. I was waiting to order a drink, and he just straight up comes up to me. He's like, "Hey man, what do you want?" And I'm like a White Russian. He's like, "Oh man, sick." And he's like, I know the bartender. So he's like, "Hey, White Russian for this guy. Put it on my tab." And I was like, this guy's a baller. So I start talking to him for a little bit. Um, let's see, Brendan. Who's Brendan? Oh, that was just okay. Brendan was just a guy I talked to at the comedy show. Okay. Okay. So then I'm armed with this new knowledge I have, right? So then the next day, day three, 3 or 4. I don't remember. I could look because I know because I was talking to people on WhatsApp, which was the way I was communicating with everybody back home. Um, so I'm just at the pool, and I've literally never done this before. There was just a girl sunbathing at the pool, and I'm just like, fuck it. And so I just go up and talk to her, and we're talking for a while, and then I'm like, hey, want to meet up later? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, let's fucking go. So yeah, that was like the third day, third or fourth day. And so we did. We basically just met up and like went on a date, just the two of us. She was there with like a friend and her parents, but like it was just us two and we hung out and it was really cool. I yeah, that was my yeah, I came up to her and I was like, "Could you rub some tanning lotion on me? Could you rub some tanning lotion on me, lady?" Um but yeah, so that was awesome, you know. That was a it was a good night. I'll just say that. And at that point I was like, "All right, I think I have this. I think I got this down a little bit. I think I can talk to people. Uh I think I can do this." My confidence was um there at that point. And from there it just kept I just kept talking to people at that point. So then I met Benji. Benji was a guy I met at the karaoke bar. I think he was from Pittsburgh, but he didn't live there. He enjoyed karaoke. He was fun. He was an older guy, uh, and those White Russians turned me into a total Chad. True, it's all the power of the White Russian. That's why I need to start drinking White Russians again because I haven't really drank a lot since then. But so yeah, Benji. Then there's a girl named Paulina who I met, and I met her just at trivia. There was just a trivia. It was like an 18 to 25 trivia. And so it was in the karaoke bar. I just go in, sit at the bar with my pen and pencil and paper. And or no, she was already at the bar. I came and sit like a couple seats down from her. A couple minutes before it started, and I just, start talking to her. She was from Mexico. She was really cool. She was really cool though. Um, she liked movies. She was an animator. Um, she literally had worked on. She was doing like motion capture stuff. She was going to film school. Um, she was like awesome. Like Paulina, amazing. So it was really cool. I just started talking to her, and then we kind of cheated on the trivia. That we kind of just like gave each other answers, and then I won. I won the trivia. I won the 18 to 25 trivia on board. Let's go. Let's go. I great accomplishment. And they gave me two things. They, if you win a thing on a Royal Caribbean cruise, they will give you the shittiest little trinkets. Hold on, I think I have it. Let's see if I have it here. Um, where'd I put it? found it. Okay. Yes, I got this. What is this? It's a thing that I really shouldn't even take out because I won't be able to get it back in. It's a bag in a bag. It's a really shitty bag that's rolled up in that tiny little bag. Look at this. Look at this incredibly high quality bag. Look at this. Wow. Look at that. That's what trivia gets you. That's what being smart. But yeah, so she gave me some answers. I gave her some answers. So then they gave me 2 of these. So then I just split them with her, gave her one of them. So I was like, well, you kind of helped me win. So then we exchanged contacts after that. I also talked to some other people from that trivia. I met them too. I'm trying to get this back in. Prize shipping more free white rice. Well, not everybody there was 21, bro. It was 18 to 25. I did it. I got it back in. What was the what kind of trivia? It was just different stuff. It was some like media stuff, like movies. Some just like historical, geographical stuff like that. So me and her, like the movie stuff, me and her just aced that shit. Some like geographical stuff, like some things she would know, some things I would know. She taught me some Spanish stuff. That was cool. Yeah, we hit it off. It was really cool. 2 bags for the price of 1. True. Hey, it's between, if you win something there, like a trivia or something, it's between like that and like a pen. So I'll take that. I'll take that over a pen. So yeah, met her. That was Paulina. Also, I met there was Jonah and Esther, who were husband and wife, or engaged. I think they were husband and wife. But they were 26, so they were kind of cheating. They were cheating, but they were just kind of like they were just having fun. Like they didn't really care. But yeah, so that was really cool. Talked to them. And it was at this point where I kind of created a friend group that I began to like. The last couple nights we would just hang out. Like I would text them and be like, hey, where are you at? I'm with Jonah and Esther, or I'm with Paulina, I'm doing this. You want to come hang out? And that was just really cool because like I'm all by myself and I'm like making my own friend group of people that I just met. And to me, I was like so proud of that because that's something I've like never been able to do before. So, yeah, there were some other cool shows on this one. We did. I'll get to Crazy Quest too, but there was like Perfect Couple, which was an interesting one. There were some good. There's some funny shit. Some funny. There's like Majority Rules, which is like you're in teams of like 2 or 3 or 4, and they ask an open-ended question, and there's no wrong answers, but the way to get a point is to answer the same thing that everybody else like that has the majority answer. But then also like you got to write down your team's thing and run it up there as quick as possible. And if you're the last team to turn their answer in, you get punished. So They might have you sing a karaoke song on the spot up there or dance in front of everybody. Or one guy came up when he was like buff. So he was just like, how many push ups can you do? He was like, I don't know. He's like, how about 50? Just do 50. And they just made him do 50 push ups in front of everybody. So stuff like that. That was a pretty fun game. Perfect Couple was funny too. Um, but then, yeah, so I met those people. Also, there was a guy on this cruise. He looked exactly like, what's his name? Who plays Thanos? Thanos, and he's also in No Country for Old Men. What's the guy's name? Josh Brolin. He looked exactly like Josh Brolin, and I saw him around. And then I was in line for dinner to go in the dining room one night, and I'm a couple people behind him, or like I'm the group behind him, and I'm just thinking it. And I start talking to the people behind me in line. Their names were Kevin and Ruben. Um, uh, their names were Kevin and Ruben, and I'm just like, yeah, Sicario is a really good movie. I know Sicario. It's from Denis Villeneuve. He's my favorite director, so of course I've seen it. But I start talking to them, and they're from California, and I just am like, the guy in front of us, he looks exactly like Josh Brolin, right? And they're like, I don't know, we don't really watch movies that much. So I show them a picture, and they're like, yeah, he looks just like that guy. And then, like 2 minutes later, somebody from further back in the line comes up to him and is just like, yo, bro, has anybody ever told you look like Josh Brolin? And he's like, yeah, I get that a lot. And I was just like, bro, I was just going to say that you look just like Josh Brolin. And so I forgot his name. I didn't write it down, but I talked to him later too in the cruise. Um, and then, uh, oh yeah, they were from dinner. Another thing that was funny was, so dinner, like I said, there's multiple places to eat. Um, but the main is like the main dining room where you either have reservations, like you eat at a specific time, or you kind of have to wait in line to get seated. And because I was just alone, I would always get seated just alone at like a two-person table, which was kind of, that's why I only went there like 3 times out of the 7 nights, because you're waiting a long time, and then like it's good food, but like it's just a long wait, and then I'm just sitting there alone at a table by myself. Like obviously anywhere I'm sitting by myself, but I'm not sitting there for like a 3-course meal, for like an hour. But one night I have the internet package, so I'm just sitting there on my phone because I have nothing better to do. I'm just at the table alone, and then there's a couple next to me at the table, their table, and they're like, "Hey, you have the internet package?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And so this was late September, and he was just like, "Yo, can you tell me what's going on with Diddy? Like, what's happening? I don't have the internet, so I don't know. I just heard something's going on." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, bro, he got arrested. His house got raided. He got arrested." And I'm like, "For what?" And I'm like, "Oh man, I think like human trafficking is crazy." So I'm just talking to these random people. He's just like, "Yo, what's going on with Diddy right now? Do you have the internet?" And I'm telling him like what's going on with Diddy, the Diddy situation. I just thought that was funny too. Um, I'm just like telling my random little stories. And then I should have told the guy you were at some. No, I would not have done that. But um, then, so now I've been cultivating my group, my friend group. It was time for me to add the final pieces. Um, so every night, every day on the itinerary, like there's a cruise schedule and it tells you like what's happening and where. Every freaking day there was like a solo cruiser meetup thing, and I went there every day, and I don't think anybody else did. Like, no, it was just at a bar, so there would always be people there because it's just a bar. But I never saw people there who were like there for that meetup because it was just like a. Some things are like self moderated, like they just have a time and a place, but it's not like there's a host or like a structured activity. It's just like people want to go there and do this, they can do that. They had like LGBT meetups and stuff. Um, but so one night I went there, and I'm awkward, so I get a drink at the bar, and I just sit down somewhere by myself, and I'm just I'm eavesdropping on people because I'm trying to tell if they're there for that or they're just friends. And so I tune in, I'm listening, and I hear this one group. There's 3 people, 2 girls, 1 guy. Guy has a southern accent. The 2 girls are Irish. They have Irish accents. And I'm like, at least the guy has to be there for this because they obviously probably don't know each other. Like, they don't know each other. And so I just get up and I go over and I'm like, hey, my name's Nathan. How about you guys? And so their names were, the guy was Connor. He was from South Carolina. And the 2 girls were named Shauna and Neve. And they were from Ireland. And I was wrong. They were not there for that. And they did know each other, not from the cruise, not from like before the cruise, but they met earlier on the cruise and were just hanging out. And so I started to hang out with them, and that was the final piece. I had made my Megazord of friends for this cruise. I started hanging out with them. They were really cool. That's how I broke I broke a couple of the 3 roles with them because this is another example of I learned a lesson. Don't try to drink with Irish people. Like, don't try to hang with them while they're drinking. Just don't. Just don't even try. It'll end badly. Because I should also mention drinks. So I had the White Russians, and then one of the other nights I was just like, I was like thinking of other stuff. This one was not recommended to me, but I was just like, a Moscow Mule that has vodka in it because it's called a Moscow Mule, so it has to have vodka in it. But I didn't really think of like what else is in it. But I was just like, well, it has vodka. I'll try it, I guess. So I went to the bar, got a Moscow Mule. The bartender, the first time I ordered a Moscow Mule, was Russian. So that was just like, match made in heaven. He was like, Moscow Mule, huh? Yeah. So I got that, and I took a first drink of it, and I was like, my first sip, I was like, why the fuck did I order this? I don't like ginger. Like, I was like, I don't really like ginger. Why did I get this? But then I just kept drinking it, and I was like, well, okay. It just kind of tastes like ginger ale with lime in it. And while I'm not like a huge ginger ale fan, it's better than like alcohol taste. So I was like, okay, between this and just like alcohol tasting stuff, this is pretty good. So then I started, I had a 3-way rotation of White Russians, vodka cranberries, and Moscow Mules that I rotated for the rest of the cruise. But yeah, one night tried to hang with the Irish ladies, and I asked them, I was like, how many drinks have you had today? Because they had the drinks package, so they could get unlimited drinks. They were like probably like 18. I was like 18 mixed drinks. 18. Holy shit. And they were buying me drinks, which you're not supposed to do. Like, you're not supposed to buy other people drinks with your like drink package stuff. But they would just like sneak it. Like, they would just order it and then they'd be like, bring it into a crowd of people dancing and then just like covertly hand it to me. So yeah, one night I tried to hang with them and I mean, I didn't get plastered. I didn't get like super, it didn't go horribly, but I definitely wasn't keeping up. um, yeah, so that was one night we went to the club, with this group, this fine group of friends. This is my favorite picture of the cruise, which you probably will not be able to see well. But this is us. Yeah, it's bad looking. You know, it does look really bad. You can't really tell. I'm trying to get it to focus. Oh, there's me. Me. This is Paulina, Connor, Neve, Shauna, and then these two in the back in the light are actually uh, Jonah and Esther. So I've got everybody in the picture somehow. So that was the crew. That was the crew I was hanging with, and it was really fun. We were at the club that night. Then we went back to the Irish cabin. It was me, Connor, Neve, and Shauna. And so we went back to their cabin, and they were this whole time we were in like this Ireland versus USA thing, and even like in that like the South, Pittsburgh, and Ireland. And so they're like USA. They want to try some real food, real snacks, and they just had like a fucking drawer of like snacks from Ireland, and we were like, "Did you bring those? Like, did you fly them over to the United States and then bring them onto this cruise ship? Like, Tato chips, which I'd never heard. They were just like fucking potato chips. I was like, what makes these so special?" And then they had like Cadbury chocolate, and they had these like gummy candies. They were pretty good, but I was like, why did you bring these? This is so funny that the four of us were in their cabin at like midnight, and we're just like we're like taste testing. They're like, we're taste testing Irish food or snacks, not food, but snacks. That was just funny. And yeah, I mean, I think that's it. So those were, pretty much all the people I met on the cruise. Those people, I tried to get everybody's contact info. Some of them I did, got some people's numbers or Facebook or Instagram. I think I have some people. So yeah, I tried to get everybody's contact that I talked to a good amount to like stay in touch, and I just kind of like say hey every couple months or something. I did not. I don't think anybody there had any, but I'm trying to think anything else that happened with them in particular. And then the craziest thing, not craziest, but wild thing. So it was the last morning, and I was up late the night before. A group of us, me, Jonah, Esther, Paulina, we were hanging out just like at the pool deck until like 1 a.m. or something. And then we had to get up at like to be off ship at like 8. So I am really tired. I just have all my stuff already packed, and I'm just like out the door. I'm really sad because it's like coming to an end, right? And I'm also like mad dash trying to get contact info and just like saying goodbye to everybody who I met. And it was really cool. And so I'm doing all this while I'm getting off the boat. And I get on the shuttle, right? So I'm like already in, that feeling when you're awake and you're doing stuff, but you didn't sleep a lot. And so you feel like you're half awake, or like things just don't even feel like real. Like you're kind of dissociating a little bit because you haven't slept. So that was me. That was the state I was in that morning. And I get on the shuttle back to the Orlando airport. And this old lady just sits next to me. She's in her 70s or something like that. And she just turns to me and she says, "Has anybody ever told you that God loves you?" And I'm like, "Oh no." I was like, "Oh no." And she starts telling me this story of how she died and she saw heaven, and that, and she was in a lot more detail. She was telling a story. She got COVID in 2020. She was in the hospital for like 2 months. At one point she died, was resuscitated, and she is telling me all this to tell me that God is real and he loves me and that I can do all these great things. And I'm like barely awake. I'm dissociating. And yeah, like what Ronald said, I'm like, is she what I thought? I literally thought, I was like, did I fucking die? I thought I died, and that this, like, getting off the boat and getting on the shuttle, I was like being transported to the afterlife of some kind. And this lady was like transporting me to the afterlife because it's like I've died on the cruise somehow. Yeah, like the cruise ship sunk in the night. And this old lady is like, she was taking me across the river Styx. Yeah. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, what is happening? And this shuttle is like 40 minutes. She tells me the story before we even like leave the port. And she doesn't talk to me the whole rest of the way. She tells me the story, and then we start going to the Orlando airport, and she doesn't talk to me again. I'm just sitting there like looking out the window like, is this real? Is this real life right now? It felt so weird. It was like an out of body experience that this lady was like giving me. It was wild. So that was like the last thing, and then everything went smoothly after that. Took flight back, and ever since then, um, kind of like what I explained. Ever since then, it's just been trying to get my work going. I've dealt with depression the last couple months, so from a lot of personal stuff, life things. Um, and then today, got some really bad news. It's personal, so I don't want to share what it is. But it was really good to talk to you guys and just see you all, and do this. Like I said, streaming software didn't work, so that's why I'm literally just streaming from the webcam on YouTube. Like, that's an option. You can do it without streaming software. But yeah, so it's a tough time. It's a real tough time, and that's why I was thinking of streaming today because I've been going to Duxon streams, and I was like, yeah, I could really do this again. And I was planning on doing it today, and then I got that really bad news, and I felt like my world was crumbling, and I couldn't talk or walk or do anything. And I was like, I can't do this. And then um, people told me, no, you should do it. Get your mind. It might help you take your mind off it. And um, I think it has. Um, there's some things I've talked about that will obviously remind me of it, but um, thank you for listening to me ramble and just talk about random shit for almost 2 hours now. And just that, like, I haven't streamed in 8 months. So the fact that you guys showed up means a lot. And it means a lot. So thank you guys all for coming. We need a Godzilla stream. I'll see what I can do. Even though work isn't going great, I need to put time into it. So you know, uh, need to prioritize certain things before streaming. But I'll see what I can do going forward. I do have over the 8 months, I have come up with some ideas, and by some I mean like three ideas for streams. And yeah, so I have other stories that I haven't told in the last 8 months. Bro, I'm not TNT. Did I not just tell you that I could not walk correctly and talk earlier? I'm not doing push-ups. I could barely sit here and just talk to you guys without breaking down crying. So, um, gambling. Oh yeah, poker. Do poker streams. I've been trying to 100% Balatro, 100% it. Maybe that could be a stream. Just like get the finishing touches. I say finishing touches, but the last achievements could take me like a year, basically. Um, but yeah, thank you guys. Thank you all. If like I said, I don't want to say what's going on here because it's personal. But if anybody cares to reach out and ask, it's whatever. Um, but yeah, thank you guys all for supporting me, and yeah, it's great to be back and see a bunch of friendly, familiar faces, and I hope me rambling for these 2 hours was not boring. Um, so, yeah, hope to see you guys again soon. Um, all right. Well, guess that's it. Bye.